Hi friends, my name is Lynn and Roanoke City Parks and Rec wanted to send out a video with some breathing and yoga just to let you all know that they're thinking of you and just want to encourage your health and well-being. So of course, other than some exercise and movement indoors, it's great just to get outdoors to walk and run and dance and skip and hop and whatever you can do. Music is also a great way to get you started. I know that helps a lot when I want to move but need a little encouragement, and when we don't have friends or family or folks that we can gather with, we have to think about some other things that may help encourage us to move, whether it's inside or outside. But anyway, just a couple thoughts to help us all keep our sanity and obviously, most importantly, just to keep our health and encourage our well-being. So anyway, glad you're here today. If you don't have a mat, no big deal. You can always do yoga on hardwood floor or carpet, just as long as you're comfortable and you won't slide around too much. So if you need to grab a towel or whatever works best for you, please do so. And yeah, so let's get started. So finding a comfortable seated position. I usually start in a simple cross-legged posture. If you want to get on your knees and shins, whatever is best for you to feel comfortable and relaxed is most important. So finding that position, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just keep your gaze down. That helps just shut out other visual stimulation, helps you connect more into your body and breath, and to just start noticing sensations, to feel a little more grounded, and to start connect our body, physical body and mind with our breath. With that being said, just notice where your sitting bones may feel connected to the earth. Notice that lift of your spine, the crown of your head lifting straight up towards the sky. Your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And just start to try to soften anything that you can, especially if you notice any gripping or holding on, whether it's in your shoulders or fingers, around your eyes, the forehead, inside the head, in the mind, whatever's going. Try to drop into your breath and just start to let things settle. Settle that dust in your mind. And starting to drop into your breath. And just with your mind's eye, watching that breath as you take breaths in and release breaths out. So just noticing, bringing attention to every moment, and especially right now, just being super aware, being really attentive to your breath. So if your mind starts to wander, bring your mind gently back to the present moment where you are right here and now. And the easiest way to do that is to try to remind ourselves to come back to our breath. So we'll take just a few more moments watching your breath travel in and out. Just watching that expansion of your chest, maybe your belly, side and back ribs. And then with the exhale, everything recoils back in towards your spine. Sometimes just that simple act of bringing attention to your breath as it travels in and out starts to calm the autonomic nervous system. So maybe one more breath right here. And we'll start to blink our eyes open Expand, stretch the arms way out, lift to the top, interlace fingers, press palms up to the sky, shift a little and draw right hand, pull that right hand so the left hand draws to the side, opening up the left ribs, imagining that intercostal muscles in between each rib just stretch. Usually that feels really nice. Let the right hand float to the mat. Continue to stretch the right side body, left side body. Right elbow can be really soft, coming all the way down to the ground, or not. Just checking it out. Maybe drawing that left elbow, drawing that left shoulder back. Your gaze may come up, or your gaze may stay low. It feels nice to start just moving the head and the neck a little bit. Just take advantage of that in this position. And then let that top hand float to the outside of your right thigh, lifting your torso up as we start to spin towards your right hand behind right hip. So lift your spine first and then coming into that twist. So the mid back and the top of your back starts to twist a little bit. Base of your spine and low back is pretty firm. Those ligaments are stabilizing and supportive. We're not trying to wrench around and twist those as much as the top of our back. Shoulders, the head, the eyes may follow suit too, keeping those shoulders down away from our ears. And on your next inhale, lift in the spine. Exhaling, let everything float towards center. Inhale, wide sweep up. Interlace fingers, press up. Left hand pulls the right side body open. Again, noticing, hopefully it's stretched in between your ribs. Intercostal muscles stretching. Left hand floats to the floor. Right hand lifts, open. Bringing that forearm down as close as you want to the floor. Maybe drawing that right shoulder, right elbow back. And again, gaze can be up or down. And again, breathe. When your mind starts to go somewhere else, just bring your mind's eye back to your breath. And letting that top arm float to the outside of that left thigh. Inhale, lift the spine. Left hand floats behind left hip, anchors down. Maybe pressing into that left thigh, but not too much. Just, do what you know you want to do. The inhale, we lift, and the exhale typically start to shift into that space we created with that lift. And so yoga is a lot about lifting, trying to create space, and then move into that space. We have this overall sense, mentally and physically, of opening and expansion and creating space versus feeling small and contracted. So one more inhale here, a little bit of twist, and the exhale, floating everything back. Next, we're going to inhale and lift and walk our hands forward on the exhale. So we're just hinging forward like someone's got a string, just pulling our heart forward. As you start to come forward, if you notice something and it's starting to feel tight, just stop. You can let your hips roll away from the floor. If you don't feel anything and want more, you can bring your forearms and elbows down. Or you can bring your feet a little bit further apart here. So just always shifting and moving so that you find a sweet spot where you notice sensation, but yet you don't feel any pain. If you want to bring your head or forehead closer to the ground, go ahead and do that. And we'll stay here for another breath. And then on your inhale, we're going to walk our hands. That lifts our torso all the way up. And we're going to switch our feet out so that our other hip is, give attention to that hip as well. So again, just keeping your feet closer together or further apart. whatever works best for you. And you may decide as you move into this pose or any other pose that, I need to shift a little bit differently to make that work better for my body. Yoga is truly for every single body. We just adapt poses to fit our body so that we can all move. And again, maybe coming down to elbows and forearms, maybe bringing chest and forehead closer to the floor. Often when I first move into a pose, I shift around a little bit and then I can kind of settle into more stillness. One more breath here. And then we're going to walk our hands back up towards our torso, and we're going to shift into table position. So we're on all fours. So hands and knees. Hands are right under shoulders, keeping bones stacked on top of bones. That helps keep our muscles safe. Don't want to pull any muscles. Sorry about my cat that you hear meowing out the door. I'm going to pause here for a minute and bring my mat straight back so I stay on my mat for my achy joints at times. Knees under hips, about-ish anyway. And then from this strong table position, fingertips forward, cat-cow. So our cow is when we lift our tailbone, lift our gaze a little. Be careful of the cervical spine here. Gaze may just be forward. Belly drops. Exhale, initiating at the base of the spine. Start to pull the spine up. Chin tucks and the tailbone tucks. On your inhale, again, starting the movement from the base of your spine, and let that energy and movement travel all the way to the tip top of your head. So whether we're an inhale and lifting head and tailbone, or exhale and tucking, we start the movement upon the breath, and then we let that energy travel from the tailbone all the way to the very top of the crown of our head. And we'll move our spine to a neutral tabletop here, always sort of engaging that core, pulling the belly back to the spine. That really helps strengthen the core, which strengthens the back, which we all need to always work on that as much as we can to keep our bodies strong. Shift your hips all the way to the right, and then let them fall to the back right corner. Hips graze over heels, left back corner, left side, maybe a little bit around the top of that clock face. And then just moving our hips here in these circles. And they can be these circles as little or as big as you want. Just checking out how this hip rotation feels in your body. And you can morph this circle, sort of a clock face thing, into any movement you want. No right or wrong. Then we're going to shift our hips the other way, moving counterclockwise. And I don't worry too much about where my breath is according to my body here on these circles, but again, just noticing your breath. And we're not going to, this short flow this morning isn't going to be really energetic, but when poses get to be more energetic, your breath is the indicator of how you're doing. If your breath starts to become more shallow or you're holding your breath, then just crank it back, slow down. So from table position, I'm going to move my hands a little forward as I extend both legs. Heels are pressing straight back. My legs are strong and engaged. My hips are lifted just a little to engage my core here. We're not going to stay here long, but if you need to rest both knees, do so. Otherwise, my elbow eyes, the insides of my elbows, are moving a little bit forward. Fingers are facing forward, pressing into palms and finger pads here. So this is our inhale. Exhale, everyone, rest knees, hips, rest all the way back on heels as that weight shifts way back. On your next inhale, we're going to lift our hips up to down dog. Down dog as my ankles crack and pop. Let it be really soft. Bend both knees at the same time, or alternately bend knees, which we call walking the dog. Weights equally distributed between hands and feet. And the idea here is to really lengthen the back. So if your hamstrings feel really tight here, keep those knees really soft. And imagine your hips are lifting up and back. So you have this nice diagonal line from the tail of your spine, your tailbone, shooting out through the crown of your head. And from here, we're going to inhale and lift up on your toes. And then exhale, maybe let both knees rest towards the mat. Inhale, we're going to shift into plank for just a sec. Exhale, knees, hips back to heels. We're going to do this flow here. So inhale, lift to down dog. Exhale, rest in down dog. Inhale, shift to plank. Exhale, knees, hips over heels. Inhale, lift to down dog, hips up and back. Exhale, rest in down dog. Your inhale, shifting to plank. Hips lifted, that belly engaged. Exhale, knees, hips over heels. One more time. Inhale, lift. Rest back, exhale. Inhale to plank. Now stay right here because we're going to soften the knees and just walk our feet up towards our hands, keeping our knees really soft, folding over here for a minute, shaking hands out if they feel a little bit, got some tension from the down dogs. You can always rest the backs of your hands on the mat. You might need to really bend your knees to get them to reach the mat. You can always slide palms underneath your feet, the tops of your feet as well. Pressing the ball mounts of your feet and toes can really help massage your hands and your wrists. So check it out. Maybe that works for you. I always enjoy doing that. So with really bent knees, we're going to slowly come up one vertebrae at a time. Back of your neck is open. The head's the last thing to come up. As you reach the tip top, we're going to let arms circle wide. Interlace fingers again, pressing palms up to the sky. Left hand pulls the right hand to the side, to the left, opening up that right side body again. On your inhale, lifting interlace fingers to the tip top. Exhaling, right hand pulls left arm to the right, opening up left side body. Inhaling to the top. Hands to hips. Inhale. Exhale, hinge halfway forward. Pause. And then on your exhale, walk your hands down towards the mat. Bend your knees. And we're going to shoot that right foot straight back. We're just going to do a runner's lunge each side. So right knee, right shin, top right foot's flat on the mat. Maybe bringing hands up to the knee or keeping hands low. It doesn't matter which. Just make sure your knee's not ahead of your ankle. So knee on top of ankle. And just stay here for another couple breaths, just to notice that front of your right hip. Hopefully that feels nice to open up that area. Full breaths. Paying attention. That is the hardest part of most everything. Staying present. And then hands to the mat. Tuck the back toe. Lift that back leg. And we're going to launch off that right foot to bring it up beside the left foot. And the left foot's going to stretch straight back. Left knee, left shin, top of left foot's flat on the mat. Coming up again onto that right knee. Check out your knee and ankle. We'll stay here for about 2 or 3 breaths again. You can stay up lifted, torso lifted. Or if you want to keep your hands down on the mat. Hands can be inside the foot as well. So wherever you need to move, just to notice some sensation and to feel some stretch. Keeping the shoulders down. Hands to the mat. Tuck the back toe, back leg. Front foot's going to slide back to meet the back foot. One more strong plank here, pressing away from the floor. Then exhaling, knees, tops of the feet to the mat, hips over heels. Let the forehead rest for just a quick breath. And then on your next inhale, we're just going to come up towards the front of the mat a little bit more, right hip to the floor so you can swing your feet around. Both legs facing forward, lifting the spine, maybe pulling toes back, helps engage the legs, belly. Inhale, arms sweep high to the top. Exhale, hinge forward, just like a string is connected to the center of your chest and someone's just pulling that string forward. Hands rest on either side of your legs or your shins. And then you can let your back soften once you've hinged forward as far as you can. Being careful of the hamstrings behind your legs. If you notice any pain, soften, bend your knees. You can even bring your heels closer to your body if you need to. So it's nice to feel a little bit of a stretch, but you just don't want to feel any pain at all. Keeping the knees soft as you continue to breathe. Often we need to stay in postures for more like 5 breaths before our body really starts to understand what we're trying to do, where we're going, and then it trusts that, and then it allows release and more flexibility. So maybe after being here for a few breaths on your exhale, you can notice a little more release as your chest comes a little closer towards your thighs. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift our torso by walking our hands back towards our hips. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat, about hips width apart. I'm going to bring my hips a little closer to my heels because we're going to get ready to roll back. Arms straight forward, parallel to the floor. And on your exhale, we're going to slowly roll back 1 vertebrae at a time. And then once you get all the way flat on your back, I'm not going to go back, but you keep on rolling back. And once you get there, stretch both arms and feet to each 4 corners of your mat, or just stretch both arms and feet out as far as they can. Maybe rotating hands and feet around wrists and ankles. And then bring both knees up to your chest for a big tight squeeze, a hug, maybe rolling your hugged knees across your spine, left to right. And then press both feet up to the sky. Imagine your heels are pressing up like you're almost going to walk on the ceiling. Palms of your hand down on the floor. Maybe rotating your feet around your ankles each way, flexing and pointing toes, opening and stretching toes. And then we're going to bend our knees, come in for one more hug. And then stretch those legs back out. Or get ready for Shavasana, or the final resting pose. So in Shavasana, your legs are straight out, allowing your ankles just to relax, open. Arms are a little bit away from your body with the palms facing up. Your chin might be tucked just a little to allow the back of your neck to stay open. And just start to let your body, physical body, your mind settle. Give your body permission to truly relax and just be here for a couple of moments of silence and quiet, letting the heavy bones and the muscles just rest and settle down closer to the earth. While you notice expansion and lift of your chest and your belly. Letting go of any tension you may notice anywhere in your body, whether it's ankles, knees, hips, noticing back, especially around our shoulders, neck, and jaw, letting go of any gripping or holding on at all. Just allowing release, the shoulders to come a little bit closer towards the earth. And continue to just enjoy this time, total relaxation. And staying here for a couple of minutes if you can, soaking it in, letting your mind and body be quiet. I'm going to go ahead and sign off as you continue to be, but I just want to thank you for being here. I am grateful for you, all those out there in our community, sending well wishes and love and kindness to all, and hoping we all take care of each other. The light of me sees and honors light each and every one of you. Namaste.